Hey folks, I wanted to give you guys some insights as to how to find a tutorial that you could use to learn more about Kaggle and the Titanic competition. I have some tricks I wanted to share with you. I have a module item that has a list of my thoughts and let's see here, where to find the competition. I think I actually showed you that in a previous video. What's the goal of the Titanic competition? I think I said it in a previous video, but I like the fact that it's written here. Your goal in the Titanic competition is to help your machine, to help the cloud machine to learn who survived and who didn't on the Titanic using training data. And then that's your first goal, and after you help the machine to learn that, you will then apply the learned algorithm to the test data to see how well the learning went. In other words, well, I'll leave it at that for now. Now, what's going to happen is you're going to have two data sets. One data set is what you will train on, and the other data set is the one that you will test to see how well your training went. And when you are doing all of that, you will be using a Jupyter notebook, which is how you write code in Kaggle. Kaggle provides you with a free Jupyter notebook where you can write your Python code. Let's see here. What else? Where can you find the data? Well, I already showed you that in the last tutorial, is that if you go to Kaggle and let's see here, I guess I'll go back to the beginning. You go to competitions and then search for Titanic. And when you get there, you have to join the competition. And after you do, you can then go to Code and then New Notebook. And if you do that, they will automatically give you the data for the Titanic competition. And they'll give you some starter code to get you started off with setting up the environment. Now, this information might need to be tweaked, and we will probably look at that in one of these tutorials I'm going to point you to. Let's see. The other thing is, I wanted to point out that I've been saying New Notebook a number of times, and as a result, I have quite a few versions of code for the Titanic here, and I probably need to go and delete some of those. Or use one to show you how to do things. Anyways, if you want to find the code that you wrote, this is how you do it. You go into code and then choose your work, and then you can see any code that you created previously. All right, so what else? I wanted to show you how to find tutorials, and the big secret is YouTube. Okay, and by the way, on YouTube you can find out how to learn about all kinds of coding things, obviously. So I recommend that you go and you play this summer. Anyways, how to get started with Kaggle by Rachel. So I went to YouTube and I searched for Kaggle Titanic tutorial. And when I did, I found a few videos, and I'm going to recommend some of them to you for various reasons. I think a really good getting started video is this one by Rachel, How to Get Started with Kaggle's Titanic Competition. And it's relatively short, and Rachel has a great personality, and her visual aids are very helpful. So 6 minutes long. That's worth looking at. Maybe we'll look at it together. Then I also found, let's see, Jason Chong has a good one, and I like his because I thought it was kind of straightforward. And so this is Jason Chong, and this is his YouTube video, and I have a link to it here as well. One of the things I wanted to point out about some of these tutorials is that when you get to the tutorial, if it's a really good tutorial, then what you'll discover is that not only do they explain what to do, but they may also have down here under Show More, they may also have a link. Let's see. Yep. Oh, this guy's really good because he even has like the timeline table of contents. You can click to go to any part. I love that. But in addition to that, he has a link to his notebook on GitHub, and I'm going to show you how to go to that link and get his tutorial and load it into Kaggle. So I'm going to go ahead and click on his link to my notebook on GitHub. And when we do that, we can see a whole bunch of stuff. And what we need is this guy here, the file that has the extension IPYNB. Now, in GitHub, there's this button that says code, and it looks like you can download, so we're going to try that. And I guess I'm just going to try download code. Okay, so we're going to download as a zip. And I will put that into my downloads folder. So let's go ahead and say save. And then after that guy is downloaded there, I'm not entirely sure if you guys know how to undo a zip, but I would go to show in folder. And I don't know if you can see this right now. I think you can. Let's see here. I am going to go to the zip file and double click, and then double click inside, and the main thing we need is this IPYNB file. The other ones come automatically when we create a new Titanic competition notebook. So I'm just going to do Control-C to copy that file, and then I'm going to go back to downloads, and then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to paste, Control-V, replace the file. Yeah, sure. Let's see here, and there it is. So there's my file. It's in downloads. I know where to look for it. Next, we will go back to Kaggle, and let's go to the competition, and let's go ahead and look at Titanic. And I am going to go code, and this is what you'll do, new notebook. And when I do that, I automatically get the Titanic data. What I want to do is I now want to import the file that has all the tutorial stuff from Jason Chong. So let's go ahead and I'm going to do File, Upload Notebook, and then Browse Files, and then we'll go to we'll go to the Downloads folder and pick on that IPYNB file, and then say Open. And then upload. Now, this is not something that you have to do, but actually today I think it is something I'm going to ask you to do because I want to see that you can actually do it. I want you to follow my directions and get it done. And one of the reasons why I want you to do this is because this is a great way to learn how to do all kinds of things using Jupyter Notebooks and Kaggle. And there's other sites that use Jupyter Notebooks, and it'd be really cool if you knew how to use a Jupyter Notebook. At least we're introduced to the idea. So what is a Jupyter Notebook? Well, it's sort of like a word processing document, like Microsoft Word or Google Docs. Or Google Documents, I should say. So up here at the top, you can format it like any other document, but as you move on, you get to a point where you can actually run code. And I'm going to go ahead and here's a block of code that in Jason Chong's tutorial, he's already written all this code for us. And what it is, it's initialization code. He calls it import libraries. That's a great way to call it also. I'm going to go ahead and press the play button, and that should run this initial code, and it should import the libraries that we need to conduct this tutorial, hopefully. Let's see here. It said session started. Let's see. Cell execution is queued, so I'm still waiting. Maybe I'll pause this for a second. Oh, there we go. We got it done. So, by the way, up here you can see the CPU in action and in any hard drive and any RAM. Remember, when you're working in a Jupyter Notebook and you're writing code for Kaggle, you are actually using a cloud processor. Okay, you're using a virtual machine out there, so you can see the CPU usage and the hard drive and the RAM. All right, so anyways, we got all those libraries imported, or at least I think we did. And if we really did, we should be able to import and read the data. Now, one little trick is that when he made his tutorial, he made it so it works perfectly on his machine. But for us to get it to work, we're going to have to modify his code here. and you will have to do this. We will go /input, and that will get us to this data right over here that is under input Titanic, including the training and the test and the gender submission file. So anyways, I'm just going to go ahead and delete everything but the Titanic, and then do /input. And that'll let us actually use the data files from the Titanic competition, and we can use it with his. Now we're using his tutorial Jupyter Notebook, and we'll put them together. Let's see if this works. I'm going to go ahead and hit this button to run. I had to actually press it twice, just a heads up. And it looks like it was executed, and now it says, let's have a look at the data set. So yay. Okay, what's next? So I'm going to introduce you to a couple of interesting, I guess this is a Python command. It's called head, and what it does is it lets us look at the beginning or the top of the training file. So we've got this training file called train.csv. By the way, CSV stands for comma separated values, and we're about to see what that data looks like. I'm going to go ahead and hit play up here twice, and then here's the data. And I can see what the headers, the titles of all the data columns are, and then I can see what the actual raw data is. And if I scroll down, we can see some of the data. Now, there are other ways to see all of the data, but head is a great way to just quickly check and see what is the data that I'm looking at. And one of the things that I'd like to point out to you, and this is really big, is that the training data includes whether or not a passenger survived. Okay, remember, this is the Titanic. With the training data, what we do is we take all of these other things into account to see if they can give us a clue as to what factors or features influenced either the survival or the death of a passenger. So that's what we want the machine to learn, is which of these things, which of these extra pieces of information are useful in determining whether somebody survived or not. Now, why do we need that when we're already told whether they survived or not? Well, we're only told that in the training data. When we go to run our algorithm, which the machine is going to learn, when we go to run it, we will run the algorithm on test data. And in the test data, we do not know whether they survived or not. We have to get the machine to create an algorithm to take all this data where it knows whether they survived or not, and then use that algorithm on some data where we don't know whether they survived or not to figure out whether they survived or not. And then the goal is for this competition is for us to make really good predictions and hit submit and get the result back from Kaggle that says we did the best, our machine learning did the best, and it did the best prediction for which passengers would be survivors and which ones would not. So anyways, what else do we got? If we want to get a quick feeling for, one of the reasons why I like Jason Chong's tutorial is because he introduces us to a lot of introductory things, and this will help us to bridge the gap between what we learned about Python in CMU with this new stuff that we're trying to learn today. So one of the things we can see is that we can use a print statement to print things. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the button here and then hit the play button. And then what it says is that when I take that train file and I say .shape, what I get is how many records are in there and how many columns of data. And then it runs a second time and it prints out the test. It prints out the shape, the dot shape for the test data. And the test data, it looks like there is 418 records and 11 columns. Now, you'll notice that there's one more column in the training data than there is in the test data. The reason why? The training data tells you whether they survived or not. The test data, our algorithm has to determine whether somebody survived or not. Oh, it even says it right here. Good job, Jason. You write a good tutorial. Okay, so what else? Then I'm going to go down here. Okay, what about the sample submission? So I guess if you go all the way through this tutorial, he talks to us a little bit about what the sample submission would look like. So let's take a look and see what that looks like. In the file that we submit after running all the training and the test analysis, what we get is we'll have a list of passenger IDs and a prediction of whether they survived or not. And what happens is when you submit that to Kaggle, this is essentially like a quiz or a test, okay? You try to get all the answers, and when you submit it, Kaggle auto grades your work and sends you back a result and tells you your percentage of accuracy. All right, so that's that. And then we can look at the shape of the data. I assume that there's something like, I guess there will be about 418 pieces of data because that was what we tested it on. So let's see if I'm correct. And sure enough, 418 in only 2 columns. One of them is passenger ID, and one of them is whether they survived or not. By the way, if you haven't figured it out yet, 0 means they have not survived, and 1 means that they did. All right, what else? Data description. Oh, here he explains that right there. Look at that. And then there's explanations of the other fields or features or factors or columns in the data. That's listed here. Now, there's a million more things that I want to talk to you about, but I want to stop this right now. And what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to go into the Canvas module, click on the Jason Chong Titanic tutorial, find his tutorial, go down and click on More. If I don't even know, Show Less, there we go. You're going to go down into his description, and you're going to go ahead and click on More. You're going to find the link that says link to my notebook on GitHub. You're going to go to GitHub. You're going to download the code as a zip file, and then you're going to go to Kaggle, and you are going to, I'll do all those things I just showed you. You're going to go into the Titanic competition. Let's see here. You're going to go to Code. You're going to go to New Notebook. You get the data for free so that you don't have to do anything there, but you are going to go to File, Upload Notebook, and you're going to find the Jason Chong's tutorial notebook, and you're going to upload it. And then you're going to try a couple of things that I just showed you, and you and I will talk more and we'll interactively look through Jason's tutorial.